Today I'm going to show you how to make these super mini donuts with an icing drip edge. So grab your 4mm crochet hook and let's get started. So we're going to begin by making the cake part of the donut, so the brown. So make a slip knot. And then you're going to chain 8, and you want to chain loosely so that we can do stitches into them easily. So now you're going to turn your work and go back into your first stitch. And you want to go under 2, so you have only the bottom part of the V at the bottom of your hook. So you want to go under 2 loops of each stitch. And in your first stitch, you're going to increase. So you're going to do 2 single crochets in your first stitch. And then in the next stitch, again, you want to go under 2 pieces. So that's why it's good that you chained loosely. So in this stitch, you're just going to do a single crochet. Continue this pattern of increasing and then 2 single crochets all the way around for a total of 12 single crochets. For round 2, you're going to increase. So do 2 single crochets in your first stitch. You might want to put in a stitch marker or a paper clip so you don't lose your spot. So increase and then 2 regular single crochets. And you're going to continue this all the way around for a total of 16 single crochets. For round 3, you're going to increase. So do 2 single crochets to increase in the same stitch. And then in the next 3 stitches, you're just going to do a single crochet in each one. And you're going to repeat this all the way around for a total of 20 single crochets. Now for the next 2 rounds, you're going to do a single crochet in each stitch for a total of 20 single crochets. And you're actually going to repeat this exact same pattern in your icing color. So I'm choosing pink this time. The only difference is right now, when you get to this point, instead of doing 2 rounds of single crochet, for the icing you only want to do 1 round of single crochet, because then we have to leave room to still do our drip. So I've just done my 2 rounds of single crochets, and I'm going to end my cake part by ending with a slip stitch, and then I'm going to cut a nice long tail. I need it to be long enough to sew all the way around the middle to sew the 2 middles together. Now before I go ahead and make my icing, I'm just going to fix this one end. So as you can see, this is my end where I started, and to get rid of it, what I'm going to do is go under this, the little loop there, pull through, and as you can see, now it's gone. And now on the inside here, what I want to do is poke it through just some of the stitching. And this will be on the inside of my donut, so you won't see it, but it just gets rid of that end. So for the drip of your icing, what you're going to do is do a slip stitch in your first stitch. Then in the next single crochet, you're going to do a half double crochet. So wrap around and pull through all 3 loops. Then in the third single crochet, you're going to do a double crochet. Wrap around, pull through 2, wrap around, pull through 2. And then in that same stitch, you're going to do another half double crochet. And then in your 4th stitch, you're going to do a slip stitch. That's your first drip. Now repeat that all the way around for a total of 5 drips. So I just finished all my drips, and now I'm going to cut a really long tail so that I have enough yarn to go around to stitch it all together. So the next thing I'm going to do is, like I did with the beige yarn, what I'm going to do is sew in this end. So again, just a reminder what you have to do. You want to look at it and go through this loop right there, right beside where the string is. And that's how it looks from this side. And then on this side, you just want to go under some of the stitching. Perfect. So the next thing we're going to do is sew the two middles of the donut together. So grab your piece of brown, and at the top here, you're going to go into this V. Oh, first put the yarn on your hook or your needle, and then pull it through this first V. And that gets your yarn to the back side. And next you're going to work your way down some of the stitching just so you can get to the center. Okay, so I've made it down here, and what you're gonna do is you'll notice that there's little sort of bumps all the way around, so you wanna go under one of those, one of the edges. So that's your first edge. You can see all the way around. These are what we're gonna be going under, the little loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And you can see there's loops like that on the pink or your icing color. And you're gonna go under that, go through that. Then what you're gonna do is grab a brown loop and then grab a pink loop and then pull through. And then grab a brown loop and then pink loop. And you're going to continue this until your two middles are sewn together. And this is what it looks like from the top. Once it's done, it won't be noticeable. So as you can see, my two pieces are sewn together. So the next step is just to go under some of the stitching here. Just work my brown wool back up. And you want to pull tight, maybe go under another piece just to be safe. And then what you're gonna do is we're gonna add our sprinkles. So grab some scrap pieces of yarn and let's add the sprinkles before we sew it up. So begin your sprinkle by putting your yarn through. Whoops, not all the way through. Make sure you leave enough to tie a knot at the end. And then you're going to skip over maybe a row high, like so. And then you're going to poke into another spot in your donut. And do as many sprinkles as you'd like. And that's sort of what it's looking like so far. And by the end, make sure you cover your donut to your liking. And once you get around to the other side, so you're gonna sort of work your way all the way around with one color, then you're gonna tie a double knot with the ends of the string. So I've just finished my sprinkles. And now what I wanna do is sew all the way around the outside. So to begin, what you're going to do is put your hook through this V here, just to sort of secure your slip stitch in place. Then you're going to go into your cake, and you're only going into the front part of the V. And now you're going to go into the next V, front part. That's good. And go back into your pink or whatever icing color you chose. And next what you want to do is, notice that was like the lowest part of our drip. Those were the 2 slip stitches. Now you're going to grab a piece of the stitching on the outside of the donut and then go into your next part of your drip, which is the half double crochet. Okay. Then you're just going to sort of lie it there and see maybe this piece is good. And that would be the top part of your donut, or the double crochet is what we're going into. And you want to make sure you pull tight just so you don't see the stitching coming out. Good. And now I want to pick, maybe this piece looks good. You sort of just lay it out and see what piece matches. There's no perfect or wrong way to do this. You just want it on the outside of your donut. That looks good. And now I'm back down to my 2 slip stitches. So of course I want to get the front part of the V and then the front part of the V. And you want to continue this all the way around, stitching. So far we've done 1 drip, and you want to add icing or add stuffing sort of as you go. So now that that part's stitched together, we can go ahead and just stuff that section. So stuffing. And then you're just going to continue all the way around until you're finally done your donut. So I've just gone around all my edge, and now I'm here. So what I'm going to do to end is go under this pink V and then go into my base, and then I'm just going to poke out just across my donut. There we go. And now I'm just going to poke out one more time into another spot. And now I'm going to cut my yarn. And my donut is complete. It has a hole in the middle that's very distinct. They're super mini, and they have icing drips on the side. Well, I hope you enjoyed my first pattern here from my house instead of in the hospital. Stay tuned for our next video.